Everyone, welcome to the show. So, we have a new nickname for Donald Trump, and it really pisses him off. um, I have a new nickname for him myself, which I think I haven't given you guys his nickname, but I told you why. I gave you the reasoning behind it. So, I am now calling him Mr. Me Wacky because he's always, tax on, tax off crap. Anyway, yeah, that's my nickname for him. But the other nickname, he doesn't know mine yet. But a reporter told him about this nickname that he's been given, and he went off on her. So I'm going to share that video with you. Also, I have updates about a MAGA meltdown over a court order. Before I dive in, though, please do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button below this video. It is free. It helps the show tremendously. So I really appreciate it. So here's what's going down. Yesterday, a court ruled against Donald Trump regarding tariffs. A three-judge panel for the Court of International Trade, which I didn't know existed, they ruled that Donald Trump's tariffs are unconstitutional. So they ruled rightfully that Congress holds the power to impose tariffs. The judges wrote, quote, any interpretation of IEEPA that delegates unlimited tariff authority is unconstitutional. So the IEEPA, that stands for International Emergency Economic Powers Act. Donald Trump has been using that act to justify him taking control of tariffs, taking it away from Congress and doing it himself. He has said, oh, we're in an emergency situation, and so I need total control. Totally not true, completely and totally not true, but that's the excuse that he's been using. And Congress, with Republicans in charge of the House and the Senate, they have just been rolling with it. They've been going along with it. They refuse to stand up to him and do what they need to do to take their power back. Well, this actually went very well yesterday. After this news broke that this panel of judges ruled against him, the stock market took off. Stock market soared. The Dow in particular jumped by more than 550 points. MAGA, though, who still falsely believes that Donald Trump's tariffs are a good thing and that, it's going to make the country rich, it's going to reduce pricing, blah, blah, blah. They still don't get it. They still don't understand that this is a tax. So they melted down. MAGA had a meltdown. Even some of the brighter bulbs on the tree, like Charlie Kirk, they're freaking out. They're like, oh, this better not be true. Charlie Kirk claimed that courts typically have, quote, given the executive branch broad authority to negotiate trade. Not true. Not true. Not across the board tariffs like Donald Trump has done. So Trump immediately appealed. Today, a second federal court ruled against Trump, ruled against the tariffs. But then later this afternoon, it went to another panel of judges. I think it was like a group of 10. They ruled in Trump's favor and they paused the lower court's order. And so now the tariffs are back on. Like I said, tax on, tax off, right? Because of Mr. Me Wacky. Before that happened, though, a reporter had asked Trump about this new nickname that basically Wall Street is using to describe his trade policy. So take a look at this.
Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, then I chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. We had a country people didn't think it was going to survive, and you ask a nasty question like that.
Taco. Trump definitely does not like the phrase taco. He does not like it when people say that he chickened out. So now we have to call him that. We have to call him Taco Trump. It is a moral imperative. to, to quote the Real Genius movie, we have to call him Taco Trump. Anyway, here's the thing with these tariffs. Even though whether they're on, whether they're off, based on these court rulings, it is not all good news because according to Market Watch news outlet, some of Trump's tariffs weren't issued under this IEEPA. So they're still in effect, regardless of what the courts are ruling over these past couple of days. They are still in effect. So, for example, there's a 25% duty on imported steel and aluminum. That is still in effect. 25% also on the imported automobiles and a lot of auto parts. That is still in effect. The tariffs that he wants to impose on cell phones, those will still be going into effect. So none of that is affected by these court's orders. And Trump, basically what they explained is Trump used the national security as an excuse, or our national security as an excuse. He said, oh, because of fentanyl and because of this and that, basically different excuses that he threw out there that he, spewed out of his pie hole. And so they are not affected. They have nothing to do with this legal mess that's going on. So an ING strategist, ING, for those who may not know, it's an investment company. Their strategist published a list that they got from the White House, and it shows all of these other items that will still be subject to the tariffs, even though the courts are still, batting this around and trying to determine whether or not he can use this IEE, whatever AP that it is. So for those on the podcast, here's what the list shows. These are the tariffs that will still be kicking in regardless of whatever these courts find. So pharmaceuticals and their ingredients, semiconductors and their manufacturing equipment, or manufacturing equipment used in the production of these semiconductors, medium and heavy duty trucks, also any of their parts, critical minerals, seafood, ship to shore cranes. So those are the cranes that take the cargo off of the ships and put them on the land. And then also cargo handling equipment that comes from China. So anything else outside of those cranes, copper, lumber, commercial aircraft, jet engines and their parts, and shipbuilding. So a lot of very important stuff. So expect housing prices to go up, expect the price of cars to still go up, medications we can expect to increase. And then there are a lot of other products are still going to go up because obviously you have the price increases for these trucks, for the ships, for offloading the ships. It's still going to hit in a big way. And so that's why the Fed is like, no, we're not going to lower rates because we still see things that are going to make inflation go up. So still not a good sign. We'll see what happens from here, but expect this to go all the way to the Supreme Court. And then it's anybody's guess with those clowns what's going to happen, once it gets to SCROTUS, as I call it. At least, 5 of the 9, or is it 6 of the 9, I guess? Yeah. Although, we've been able to count on Amy Coney Barrett a lot more. She's been a lot more reasonable and actually following the law and the Constitution in this country, unlike Clarence Thomas and Alito. So that's where things stand, guys. Mr. Mewaki. Yeah. Just never know from day to day. I don't know how you run a business like this. Honestly, if I was selling products right now, I would be just I would just throw up my hands. I'd be like, I'm just selling the company because this is insane. Like every day it's something new. Every day they're on, they're off, they're up, they're down. Who knows? All right. I will let you know when I hear more. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.